back in September last year, I discovered I could begin to walk. I mean, I'd been walking obviously at home and up and down to the chickens and around the garden, but actually going out for a walk. And we live in beautiful countryside, and I couldn't really walk very far. Our hamlet's not that long. It's about, I don't know, 200, 300 metres maybe. And even just getting up to the top of the hamlet was more than I could manage. So anyway, I discovered that I was able to start walking. So I started walking, and I was really, really quite unsteady. Well, not unsteady, but for years, if I'd slipped or stumbled, I wasn't able to stop myself from falling. I didn't always fall, but it always felt like, it always felt dangerous, or that I was going to fall over. So I started walking, and I felt quite unsteady. And a friend of mine a few years back had given me some walking poles, so I started using the walking poles. And I walked up the hamlet, and you can go up the hamlet and into the woods. And gradually each day I got a bit further, and I took a stick with me, a small, small garden cane stick, for a houseplant style. Took that with me one day and planted it, and then each time I could measure how far I'd gone, and would move the stick and move it further on and move it further on. And quite quickly, even though I didn't have good footwear on, quite quickly I was getting further and further, and the stick was getting, well, no, the stick wasn't moving on its own, but I was moving the stick further and further. And I was really, really chuffed, because it had been years, and I'd obviously reached a point where my inflammation levels were low enough for me to feel comfortable to walk. For a while I carried on with the sticks. I needed an abdominal small of your back abdominal support, because I don't have any core muscles. So I was getting backache after a certain length of time, and I have a dodgy ligament on one side of my knee, so it was an old football injury. I know you won't believe that, but it really is an old football injury. So I was wearing a knee support, and gradually, as the months went on, my muscles obviously were building. Around my hips, around my back, in my thighs, in my calves, and I started to feel stable. I'd bought better footwear by then, and I began to feel really quite stable. Didn't use the walking poles, stopped needing the abdominal support, and stopped needing the knee support. Although sometimes I do. Sometimes my ligament really is hurting, and I could do with the knee support. Anyway, so I was really, really cheered that I could walk. It meant quite a lot to me. I bought a Fitbit thingy, and so I could measure what I was doing. And I started off quite small, but it got bigger and bigger. And I entered in December last year. I entered a virtual race at your pace thing, and I did 78. You can't see that on here, but I got a medal. 78.74 miles in December. That, I remember, was a bit of a push. And in January I joined, I'm still waiting for my medal. I thought that would come today, but it hasn't. I'm still waiting for it. I joined a virtual walk end to end along the Southwest Coast Path. I started it with 4 friends at the beginning of January, and expected to finish in July. But based on the mileage I was doing, I expected to finish in July. 630 miles. And each day I uploaded from my Fitbit how much mileage I'd done. And my friend Anita, who 2 weekends ago, I think it was 2 weekends ago, completed a virtual London, which it wasn't virtual, she actually did the mileage, but it was a virtual London marathon. So she did a marathon, but she did it locally in Devon. She's just absolutely amazing, because 5 years ago she wasn't running, and so she's was such an inspiration. She's quite a bit younger than I am. That's my excuse. So she was doing it with me, and my friend Julia, who lives on Shetland, and my friend Hayley, who lives in Kent. Hayley was inspired. I spoke to her about it, and she was unemployed and bored. And I said, well, why don't you do a little bit of walking, go out and walk? And she did. And she beat me to the end because she got a job and she was walking backwards and forwards to work. Anita obviously beat me because she's, doing lots of mileage a day. And Julia trailed me by about 10 miles each time. Each time we uploaded, she was still about 10 miles behind me. And she lives on Shetland, which is quite small, so you're not going to, although that's really stupid, she can do the mileage. But she wasn't really walking, and she started walking, and now she's doing some amazing stuff. She's swimming in the sea, which must be really cold up there, so she's doing really cold swimming, and she's just about to start a cold water challenge, I think, at the beginning of November. But she and I finished the virtual Southwest Coast Path walk a couple of weeks back, together practically. It was only because I uploaded my mileage sooner than she did that she didn't beat me. I think we probably both finished together. And I expected that to take me through till January to July, but it didn't. I've not stopped completely, but I've gone back. I think my inflammation levels must be up, and I'm not able to walk as much as I'd like to. Had intended to walk today, had said to Mark last night we should go for a walk, but actually I'm not so well today, so we're not walking. And I'm looking forward to being able to walk again, and I will do. But so that I'm really pleased about that, and I'm looking forward to getting my medal. I did another challenge in May. So in December it was 78 something miles, and then I did another race at your pace and did 108 miles in May, which was 40 miles more, 30 miles more than I did in December. So, and that was a push. But actually, that's the only time I've realised that actually that was quite a bit more mileage, and so I could do it, and I can do it, and I will do it again, but at the moment I won't. And at the same time we were walking in October, we started the Fast 800 diet, and it's a 3 month. You can only do it for 3 months because they've not researched beyond that. But it's 800 calories a day, very low carb. The only carbs really that you're eating are from your green veg and your vegetables, and you're not allowed not meant to have things like carrots or parsnips or those sort of root vegetables that are higher carbs. So most of your carbs are coming from spinach and Brussels and cauliflower and green veg. No bread, no pasta, no potatoes, couscous sometimes. Yeah. So we did that, and for the first time in years, because I take steroids, steroids are bastards. They really do. I've always been obese. It's not, I haven't been on steroids all in my life. I've only been on steroids for about 5 years, but they really are not very good. They make you, they help you put on weight if you carry on eating carbs. You have to go on a really low carb diet to lose weight whilst you're on steroids. We did the Fast 800 from October through Christmas until the middle of February. And I was pretty strict. Though you could have some red wine on it, and I didn't let Mark know that you could. We don't really drink anyway, but I didn't let him know that, because otherwise we would have added it probably, once or twice a week when we didn't need to. So I was quite strict with it. And after a couple of days we got used to it. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I loved making the meals. And it's called Fast 800 because it's a mixture of, you are you're losing weight quickly, and there's this myth that you mustn't lose weight quickly, it's bad for you, and you'll only put it all back on again, and all of that. And Dr Michael Mosley, who is a bit of a hero for me, explodes some of those myths for me. And so the Fast 800 means that you lose weight quickly, which is motivating. I can remember years and years and years ago, and I mean years ago, over 30 years ago, going to something like Slimming World or something, and they sort of say, well, you shouldn't lose more than £2 a week, and it's like, that is really not motivating, is it? And I can't remember what I lost in the I think I lost 2 kilos in the first week on the 800 diet. We'd been intermittent fasting for over 4 years. Which meant that we stop eating around 8 o'clock and we don't start again till midday. And we'd been doing that for a long time, and that, I think, had made a difference for Mark, but again, I'd started taking steroids, so it was lost. Any gain from that was lost, but we got into it and really happily get on with it now. And it feels a good thing to be doing, to leave you're meant to leave your digestive system and your metabolism and everything to just eventually get hungry rather than constantly eating. So sort of agree with the ideas behind it. So we were doing that. So then we added in the Fast 800, did it till February. I lost 17 kilos. I need to lose at least another 17 kilos, if not more. Mark lost, I think he lost about, I can't remember, because obviously, it's a year ago now. I think he lost about 24 kilos. He certainly lost more weight than I did, but I think men lose weight more easily than women anyway, which is really demotivating. But so the speed of the loss anyway was good. It was great watching your weight come down each week. You could map it on a graph, and the food was good, and we rarely felt hungry. So added in the 800 and the walking, and I went through a really great period of feeling healthy. And we've got to get back to that, and we will get back to that. We ate some interesting food whilst we were away. Not least the coming back from Phil's back to the hotel each night, going past a place where we could buy chocolate. That wasn't helpful. And because in France, if you haven't bought your chocolate by 7 o'clock, that's tough, because you ain't going to buy it anywhere because everywhere's closed. Whereas in the UK, if I sort of suddenly decided at 10 o'clock at night I fancied chocolate, not that I would, you've always got like 24-hour shops. And there was a Tesco's in Kent, in Ashford, that's open 24/7. So yeah, I could go and get chocolate from there if I want, but not here in France. If you haven't got it by 7, then you haven't got it. I mean, some of the shops are open till 8, but what I mean is you can't just nip out. So anyway, we didn't eat that healthily. Well, we did eat some nice food, but probably not as healthily, and we ate lots of carbs and whatever. So we haven't even dared look at the scales since we've been back. But we're going to get back on it. I did some shopping yesterday. I've got lots of food that I can make. I'm making a meal from the Fast 800 diet today, this evening, mushroom stroganoff, which is really easy, really quick, and really nice. And in the oven, about to finish, I'm doing a roast chicken, which will have some with the cauliflower cheese I made the other day, and roast chestnuts. So no potatoes. I know there's carbs with the cauliflower cheese because I made the white sauce, and I think chestnuts are carbs, but it's a healthy meal compared to what we have been eating. And I think by the end of the week, I might dare to look at the scales. But for now, I'm not looking, because there's no point really. It's just depressing if you look and think. I think it's demotivating until you're back on track, and we're going to get back on track. And I'm looking forward to getting back to walking. So, bon appetit, as they say in France. And my next vlog will be the Team C's vlog, which will be published at 10 o'clock tomorrow evening. Au revoir.